Hello. Hey guys. Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's not really early in the morning. It's like around 10 or so. And if you can't see if my mustache isn't moving or anything, it's because it's got glue on it. All right. And because I've got this, I found out how to make this thing really stick to me. And for you guys, if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, it's Fantasy Fest down here in Key West. And, I've been clowns, I've been all kinds of things for years and years and years. And this year I thought I would take some of my teaching to the street. And some of my teaching is to show people, especially homosexuals and the public alike, that want to learn, that not only does God love gay guys and gay queer people in general, that it's basically, spoke of in the Bible. They've not been left out, and so it's kind of like an anti-suicide mission, that if someone, they understood that, hey, they were in here, they just have to accept that they're being called a eunuch. And I find that that's a little hard on some of these people, because the eunuch has such low interpretations. But it's really about those people that don't procreate, is what that means. And so it's a type of a slavery of some kinds, in some ways, when someone cuts your balls off or castrates you in some way and makes you a slave. And that's one of these three. The other one is giving it up for God. These people that, that swear by celibacy, and still fuck around with other children and stuff like that, and other men and other women. Under this guise or pretense of, of not having any sex at all, But in reality, having no sex is actually that idea that celibacy is hold on to your juice. You can do whatever you want with it, but every now and then when you want to go up and see the Lord, you got to have this in you to make everything rise inside of you. So it's good to have some of that around, all right? And not in a bottle or something thrown on the ground, It's something that you have to maintain inside of you. But anyways, that's what I want to teach, is to show that in the Bible it actually has things like, this is what a eunuch is, one that comes out naturally from their mother's womb. And this in the old days was called the girly guy, the girly boy or girly man, and they just weren't wanting to have sex with women, so, that group of people always existed, and they were born that way from their mother's womb, and it was talked of and spoke of in Matthew. People don't want to hear it, preachers don't ever preach it. But anyways, the Leviticus on the other side, when I'm talking about, here's the text that actually people killed themselves over because they're going against God's wishes, and this is the one that religious people use as like a knife to stick in the back of all these homosexuals around. And it's, thou shalt not lay with mankind as with womankind. And it's a simple little phrase coming from the King James Bible, not from any of the Catholic Bibles that come right out and say a man can't lay with a man. That's a lie, because what a false interpretation. And I'm stood out in front of Catholic Church this morning. I got up around 7 and got ready. Here, I'm going to show you. It should still be sticky. But anyways, I got up and got my little thing on. Went and checked it out. Where are my glasses? Well, anyways, I was out there for a good... See, look, I can actually smile and everything. I have a great time. Well, anyways, with me and my son, I stood out there in front of St. Mary's Church. I was out there for, all morning, since about 8 o'clock or so. And all my ideas, all my clothing and stuff like that, hanging up with that sign. And I'm just saying hi to the people coming up and down this busy street as they're coming into work. It's a busy time early in the morning, that little morning shift. And so I wanted to say hi to all of them. And they've given them the greatest of smiles. Really, I only got 2, birdies. Someone said, you're an idiot. And I said, yes, how you doing? You're welcome. I just had a great time this morning. I really did. I was sitting out there. I had my sign on, and give them old thumbs up and keeping on up. I did that for 2 hours, all right? Well, about I guess about the time that church was about to let out, and all these kids running around in their costumes, this campus policeman comes out, and he says, you know, I've been asked to come out and see if you might leave. We have children that are coming out, and we don't want them to interact with you. And I said, well, this is the sidewalk right here. I said, is it against the law for me to be right here? And I said, you know, and I'm not interacting with people. I'm interacting with the street. That's my thing. And I turned around and started doing my thing. But this guy was really nice. But he was saying, you know, we really couldn't do anything, you know. So he told me the truth, right? Well, around the corner, some woman come bursting around the corner, you know, and she's a lesbian. We're going to call her that because she told me she was. Told me she could. Later, oh my God, you guys, I wish I had a damn camera and somebody around to do this, you know, because they was going to take me down, man. One tell me, well, I thought you'd have the decency. And I said, the decency? You know, I'm sitting here in front of a church that lies. They don't let fags in here. They don't bury fags, you know. Don't you remember one of our policemen, you know, over there? Well, anyways, listen. I'm on the sidewalk, and I'm having my fun with these guys. This woman, she comes around, you know, like some bull dyke, you know, and she just snorting up a storm. And it's like, you know, hey, you either going to get away from here, or you're going to mind me, or I'm going to cart you off to jail, you know. For what? Have I done anything wrong? And then I said, what is it? I'm sitting here and I said, I'm here, I'm educating the public. I ain't here there ain't nothing negative about here. I just told that guy, there's nothing negative about my stuff here. And those kids can Google this if they want to. I don't have to talk to them about it, but it's the truth. You know, this is where it is. I'm telling you, this is about people who killed themselves. You know, lots of people killed themselves because their Bibles, they don't think it mentions them. So I showed them where it is. This is it. I'm educating the public. She went like that, you know, like, well, what, you know? And it's like, so I started, well, if you just shut up, you know, and I, you know, hey, if you just shut up, you just shut up. And I said, wait a minute, am I in any trouble here? If you just shut up. She said, can I talk? And I said, all right, you can talk. You can talk. And she wasn't saying anything. So I went on back to going to my thing, you know, saying hi, you know, my public shit, you know. I said, you go and find me that statute in that book that you say it is, and I'll leave. But I also want to know how far away I have to be, you know, because if I go across the street there and you come over and arrest me for that, I'm going to be real mad, you know. And so she went back to get this book. She goes to find the book. She's sitting there for another 20 minutes, and I'm out there having a good old time with my think, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? In the meantime, all these kids are coming out of the church and walking around. They're not even hanging out where I'm at. They walk all the way around the back of the church, you know? They don't, shit. I wound up having to go across the street in better lighting. And it just was the funniest thing. You know, I told her, I said, listen, this is about you. She goes, well, I'm queer. You know, I'm gay and I'm a lesbian and I go to a Baptist church. That doesn't mean I believe everything that's in there. And I said, well, then you're doing it all wrong, you know, because I'm showing you right now more about you. Because you didn't just pop out in the open. You didn't just make who you are. You came here naturally from your mom's womb. And she says, I said, damn, I wish I had my camera. And she goes, don't worry, I'm recording it. So I looked down at this thing and I brought my sign down to view and I gave them all a lesson so that they could all, this is what it means. And I said, thou is not a man. Mankind is not a man. And womankind is not a man. And there was like now 5-6 cops running around to move this guy who's dressed up as God in a Nemo or in a Neptune wig, sporting a positive sign about homosexuals. You know, I had to get the fuck off the corner of a church, St. Mary's Church here in Key West, Florida. Just the funniest things on earth. Listen, I didn't care, you know. This woman, I told her, I said, well, I'm glad that you showed me this ordinance before you just threw me in the back of your car and drug me off downtown somewhere. I thanked her for that, you know. What a funny little story, you know. I said, I've taught you something here. I've learned nothing from you. I've learned nothing. And in that time when she told me to hush up and stuff and all, so she'd talk, she could say shit. So I went back to work while she was looking up in her book what was going down. Listen, that's some pretty sad shit. Pretty sad shit. So I'm going to go back to it a little later. You know, I couldn't have my cloud. Do you know that dry ice, if you put it in the freezer, it don't stay? It just like, it vanished. I went in there last night. I wanted to use it so bad because it was so good. I mean, I just wanted to practice. And I go in there, there's nothing but this emptiness. I've got a nothing. I got a nothing. And it was so heavy. It was so heavy one time. Got a whole house full of what is that, carbon dioxide somehow. Good thing we didn't all suffocate, you know. So I'm off to go and find me some dry ice, and I learned a lot about it. But anyways, you guys, I'm not going to get in trouble. Goddamn religious people. I love you. Take care. Be back soon.